Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the city council meeting for Tuesday, January 7th to order. Could we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Bringold is absent. Duncan?
Here.
Gesme?
Here.
Lundell?
Here.
Mattson?
Here.
Montgomery?
Here.
And Mayor Altoff.
Here. Would you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So move. Second.
Motion by Steve, seconded by Bill to approve the agenda. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. That leads us into the public hearing tonight. Resolution 2455, vacating certain right-of-way and easements in Sandstone Ridge. Before we open up, Dave, you want a little intro on
Sure.
that?
Thank you. The council will be familiar with this because we've had several meetings in the last couple of months to talk about this. Buffy's here tonight representing Southeast Minnesota Multi-County HRA, and Carl may still be on his way, attorney, yeah. And tonight is kind of the culmination of all the prior meetings we had where legally and technically we've got to hold a public hearing to officially consider whether or not to vacate certain streets, certain public right-of-ways, certain easements within the Sandstone Ridge Edition, first and second editions. And so tonight, we are holding a public hearing. We've published in the Beacon. We've sent notice out to the property owners regarding the proposed vacation. And tonight, the purpose of tonight's meeting is to accept any input from the public for, against, or questions about the proposed action to vacate.
Before we open the public hearing, Buffy, you want to say anything, or I think it's all here in front of us?
Yeah, I don't think I have anything to add other than the introductory comments that
Okay.
Dave made.
Okay,
I'm happy to answer any questions anyone might have.
okay. Well, with that, I'll open the public hearing on Resolution 2455, again vacating certain right-of-way and easements in Sandstone Ridge. Is there anybody who would like to talk at the public hearing? Second call, public hearing. Third and last call, public hearing on Resolution 2455. Hearing none, we're going to close the public hearing. And I would take a motion to approve Resolution 2455.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Bill and a second by Morris to approve Resolution 2455, vacating certain right-of-way and easements in Sandstone Ridge. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, that leads us to the consent agenda. Consent agenda items may be adopted under one motion as presented or may be removed for discussion and resolution as council business. For you at home in the audience, I'll go through the consent agenda. Item A, just and correct claims for the accounting period ending December 31st, 2019. Item B, just and correct claims for the accounting period ending January 2nd, 2020. Item C, minute meetings for the December 17th, 2019 City Council meeting. Item D, approve 2020 appointments. Item E, approve COLA for non-union city employees. Item F, Resolution 2456, designating the depositories for city funds for fiscal year 2020. Item G, designation of the official newspaper for 2020. Item H, statutory tort limits. Item I, Deputy Register appointment, Cassie Zimmer. Item J, hire unscheduled part-time employee for the ambulance department. Item K, Resolution 2457, accepting a monetary donation from Strike Tool for $100 to the fire department. And item L, Resolution 2458, accepting a monetary donation from Invenergy Cannon Falls LLC for $1,500 to the fire department. Is there anything on the consent agenda that you'd like to pull down?
Item D.
Item D, okay. We'll put that under council business for C, approving the 2020 appointments. I was gonna pull it down if nobody else was. Is there anything else? Have a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item D.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Bill and a second by Matt to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item D. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, we'll move to council business. Item A is approve an agreement for the State Building Code Administration, 2020. Dave, you want to give us an insight on that?
This is a continuation of prior actions and arrangements that we've had with Goodhue County to perform our building code inspection and plan review services. We continue to believe at staff that this is a cost-effective and efficient way to do that. We're continuing to be satisfied with the assistance that we're getting from Goodhue County. So again, this is just a contract that the council has approved in the past, similar language, change of dates, fees are staying the same, and we would recommend that we proceed with keeping Goodhue County on as our building official.
Any questions? I have a motion to approve the agreement for the State Building Code Administration for 2000.
And I'll second.
Steve, a second by Bill. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item B is election of Mayor Pro Tem. There's a little question about this. Right now, our Mayor Pro Tem is Morris, and I've asked him to be the Mayor Pro Tem for 2020, but in checking in the bylaws, it seems like we do that after each election year, like it wouldn't be till 2021.
So unless there's a vacancy that occurs after that, Morris would be the mayor pro tem until the next election, so he would serve and he's appointed.
Till next year.
Till next year.
Yeah, next January.
The first meeting in January next year.
Okay.
We'll just leave it at that then.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, item C was approve the 2020 appointments. Matt?
I just wanted to pull it down because when I looked at it, it says it's for discussion and there's not really an action attached to it other than if we wanted to make an ordinance for things like the park board. But I thought maybe if you wanted to discuss all the things that are highlighted yellow on here or.
Right.
Well, I think what Dave and I want to do is bring it to your attention that some of these committees are not even in the ordinances. And then maybe it'd be time to clean up these appointments and commissions. And there's a couple of them that maybe we aren't even necessary, we could do away with. That's why bring it up tonight and we can talk about it at the work session next Tuesday.
Sure. Do you have any in mind that you would want to get rid of? Or which ones that might be unnecessary?
Well, for example, the Hiawatha Transit Advisory, is it needed? Doesn't.
I've been on it
it's
for a
never,
year and I don't even
it's
know what it
never,
is.
It's never met, it's never met in all the time I've been here.
Yeah, so, yeah, I think.
Maybe to respond to Matt's question too a little bit more, there's different questions to the different groups that are highlighted in yellow. But This goes back to maybe more than a year ago. It was first brought to our attention on a different issue related to the Public Works Commission and kind of the ongoing conversation with that. There's some cleanup that needs to be done with the Public Works Commission. There's been, even since I've been in town, there's been a kind of a bouncing ball on the park board.
Yeah.
Do we have it? Do we don't have it? If we're going to have it, who do they report to? And there needs to be probably some cleanup on that. And our charter is pretty clear about when it's required that we adopt commissions or appoint commissions or boards for a more permanent participation in local government. And when we do that, we're required to do it by ordinance, and that hasn't always happened. So what John and I have talked about is there's a number of different issues with respect to any one or more of these highlighted in yellow. And we thought, since we're going to meet next Tuesday anyway, it'd be a good chance to get your input and some guidance from you before we go ahead and decide, well, what are we going to do next?
Sure. I was surprised to see all the literature attached to the park board and all the duties, being a member before becoming on the council and
That's a
before
long
becoming the
list,
chair.
yes.
And also found it funny that we have 7 park board members, but only 3 in Public Works. And we all know Public Works is a very large department and deals with the entire city, and Parks is a little bit smaller, but the literature attached to that, there shall be a chair, there shall be a secretary, so we haven't had that. So it's good to see, but yeah, it needs some cleaning up.
So now you're all aware of it, and you can think about it, and we'll talk about it at the work session next Tuesday. Okay?
Great. But as of now, the reason, there's no action required, just for discussion.
Just for discussion.
Perfect.
So you want to make a motion to accept the discussion?
Yeah, sure. Motion to accept discussion. Yep.
Okay. Second to that? Second. By Morris, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, we're going to move on to reports, but before we do this, I have a presentation I'd like to make tonight. Somebody got a camera. It's in recognition of outstanding achievement. The city of Cannon Falls wishes to give Linnell Andrus for her 38 and a half years. Wow. Fine and dedicated service. I'm going to present this to you.
Okay, Joe's got a camera.
Wait, guys. Oh.
We get like a pose.
Yeah, there you go.
See the eye roll there?
Oh crap, now we're in the back.
Yeah, there you go. Give them a smile.
Sell that to the Beacon, we'll make some money.
Okay, moving on. Council Committee, Commission, non-profits. First of all, Kyle from the Chamber, would you like to talk to us tonight?
I sure would. Good evening, council. Good evening, community, and happy retirement to Linnell. I also need to thank you for the services you've helped me with, and with the chamber and all those kind of policies and stuff. Our programs don't actually start until March, and that first one, actually April, because it'll be the Easter hunt. So I want to talk about a couple of our members who have some kind of earth-moving news going on. Rancho Loco will be open tomorrow, starting at 11 a.m. through 10 p.m., and then they will continue on. It will be the same menu that they have had, and they are going to start adding new entrees, and so be ready for that. Real Deals, sad news there is that they are closing. The liquidation sale starts tomorrow, and the hours are 10 to 6, Wednesday through Friday, and 10 to 5 on Saturday. And so go and wish Nancy and Don farewell and best wishes and good health. I've been hearing a lot about Malbrecht Designs, And Malbrek is the new clothing store, ladies' clothing store, right on the corner at the intersection of the stoplights. I think it's been Pine and Print and a quilt shop and a cafe. Well, Jenny brought her clothing in. Right now, she only has winter hours, only winter hours. So she is open on Saturday from 12 to 5 and from Sunday 12 to 4. And so I've had a lot of people asking me, what's going on? They're never open. Winter hours. And so just that little bit on some of our chamber members. We're looking forward to 2020. We ended with 27 new members last year, and so hopefully we can continue our growth. Thank you.
Thanks, Kyle.
Kyle, I got one thing. Chamber dollars.
Yes.
What did you end up with? I mean, I know it was a great amount.
For the month of December,
Yeah.
it was almost $4,500 just for the month of December.
Right.
And that's for people coming in and purchasing them to give away as gifts, employee appreciations. Just thank you for your services. I mean, it was incredible. It wasn't that busy in 2017 or 2018. And so to see that much go out and to know that that money will be staying right here in Cannon Falls. And so we do have a full list of merchandise or merchants that take part in that. And so very, very good. I did have an email today. Somebody had found a couple of chamber dollars from 2016. And they wanted to know, are they still good? And the answer is yes. There is no expiration date. So you can use them at any of our locations. Just be sure to use the full value. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, committee reports. Go right to Joe. Got anything for us?
I don't have any committees, but I did find some chamber dollars from, I think, 2010 in my drawer. So I'll have to get those taken care of. Tomorrow we have Triad, which is at 10 o'clock at the community center. We will be talking with a realtor and some of the things that they deal with their job. Interesting timing on that. If you didn't hear, a realtor was murdered in Minneapolis, where they believe that a showing was set up in Maple Grove where she was kidnapped and then later found murdered. So it should definitely be an interesting conversation. I also want to send out our thoughts and prayers to the Waseca police officer who was shot in the head last night, responding to a suspicious person call. That's a call that all of us officers have responded to hundreds of times before, and unfortunately, this is a tragic situation, so hopefully he makes it through it. That's all I have.
Mel?
I don't usually have much to say, but I thought I better say something tonight. Well, I typed this up so I could try to get through this here. As you know, this is my last city council meeting, and for those that maybe are not familiar with it, I'm retiring effective Friday, January 10th. It's truly been an honor and a privilege to serve this city for 38 and a half years. I came here as a 20-year-old, just out of school, and was given the opportunity to work and develop my career. I've worked with many great mayors, council members, city administrators, and city staff over the years, and I want to thank each of them for their support, not only to me, but to this community. There have been a lot of laughs, a few tears, and some sleepless nights, but I am thankful for my time in Cannon Falls and wish nothing but the best for everyone. As I look forward to the next chapter of my life, I'm excited to be able to spend more time with my children and grandchildren and even my husband. But it is bittersweet as I say goodbye to my work family. It's been a good run, and thank you.
You, Lynell.
Thank you.
Dave?
Didn't you tell Linnell we're having a couple more budget workshops? I thought you were going to do that. Sorry. Yeah.
Invited to the next one.
To the next one, so, thank you, Linnell. We are going to share in some refreshments in Linnell's honor after the meeting, too, so keep that in mind. The only thing I want to report to the council is that, unfortunately, our application to the Minnesota Historical Society for a $30,000 grant to assist with financing the preservation of the 3rd Street Bridge was not accepted. Probably with good reason. I mean, there was 71 applications in, $4 million available, and over 10, almost $11 million of requests. So obviously, the competition was keen. I think probably since we got $161,000 to do all the preliminary design and engineering initially, that the State Historical Society probably said, you know, Cannon Falls, you can share in some of the cost of this. But what we'll do is the project is still alive. Greg Isaacson and Goodhue County continue to do just an outstanding job with MnDOT in the financing that they're participating in for this project, and it's significant. The federal dollars seem pretty well lined up at this point. So if all things stay equal, the $30,000 that we requested, there was some money in there for a modest amount of land acquisition we need for the abutments. There was a little bit of approach work related to access to the bridge itself. And then there was about $10,000 of engineering cost participation. And the total engineering, I think, on that budget was well in excess of a couple $100,000. So our local share would have been at, and still will be at, about $10,000. So on a $2.2+ million project, we're going to have to work through, if all things go forward as planned, we'll have to work through a budget allocation for a $30,000 share since we didn't get the grant. But we tried, and like I say, I think we put our best foot forward, but there was some pretty stiff competition on this. So we'll see over the course of the next probably 1 or 2 or 3 months kind of where this is headed and what our participation will be and what the details will be forthcoming. So want to let the council know on that. That's all I have.
Okay, Council, Steve?
Well, Wes isn't here, but last Tuesday, or a week ago, was New Year's Eve, I believe. And I drove through town on the way to work at 5:30 in the morning. I didn't see one plow. They'd completely cleaned up the city, took all the snow out of downtown and everything by 5:30 Tuesday morning, and although it wasn't a lot of snow, it was cleaned up and it was lickety-split and ready to go right away that next morning. And I wanted to thank Wes and his crew for keeping up the pace. That's all I have.
Matt?
Linnell, thank you so much. You have been so kind to me in my time here, and I can only imagine that you've been equally as helpful, if not more so, for those 38 and a half years, so thank you. Regarding the park board, we're going to have to get that pool commission, so Dave will probably have to sit and talk and see how we can form that, hopefully get that in place before spring and start looking at our options, and we'll see where it goes from there. And then lastly, thank you to all the students. I have class with a lot of you, first hour, sixth hour. Thanks for coming. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Come up here, say hi to a council member, the mayor, any of the staff members. Public input is coming up. If you have anything you'd like to say, feel free. The mic can be yours.
Linnell, I'd like to thank you for all those years. I've worked with you myself on the council for 10 and a half years. So I wish you well in your retirement and enjoy yourself.
Derek?
Yeah, again, I'd like to thank Linnell for 38 years. I mean, that's how long I've been alive, so. But, you know, all your help with me, the kind words you've given me, so thank you for that, and enjoy retirement.
Morris? Linnell, thank you very much. I remember you in the old building. There was not much room in there, but you survived. And that's all I have. And
Again, I'll say, Linnell, thank you. been here a couple years, and it's been a joy working with you. We're gonna miss you. Just a couple things. We got a work session next Tuesday, June 13th at 6:30. January 3rd, yeah, what did I say?
14th.
Yep.
The 14th?
Yeah, today's the 7th.
Okay, January 14th, next Tuesday. And our condolences to Michelle Sandine on the death of her dad. That funeral's tomorrow down in Zimbrota. Okay, public input. Citizens may speak to issues not on the agenda. Before speaking, please give your name and address for the record, and kindly limit your comments to 3 minutes. Public comments must be respectful, pertinent to city business, and adhere to the applicable data privacy rules. The city council will not take action on any issue raised by the public, but may choose to schedule consideration of the item on a future agenda. Is there anybody who would like to talk on public input? Public input?
Drew?
Third and final call, public input. Okay, we'll close the public input. Another thing I might mention, I'm working on getting together a recognition of like a Paul Bringle Day. Paul is kind of suffering a lot lately, and we want to recognize all he's done for this community, so we're working on that. So if we got nothing else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Eric and Bill. You don't want to go.